8. So what's your number 7?
Oh, number 7. Yeah, my wife and I both saw it. Her. By Spike Jonze or Johns, however you want to go. Now, this movie here is a movie for today.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're probably going to see movies down the road about how technology affects people, which is already it's already happening. People you get obsessed with their iPhones, iPads, tablets, whatever. But anyways, Joaquin Phoenix who plays a writer named Theodore Twombly, who basically really has no life except for his job. He just stumbles upon this operating system passing by, and he gets involved with this operating system, and who ends up being actually a character in this movie.
Scarlett Johansson.
Who the voice is narrated by Scarlett Johansson, but he gets involved.
Right, they get into a relationship
with an operating system, if you can believe that.
Yeah, they fall in love.
It's really well done. I mean, I just think down the road you're going to see, if it's not even happening already, because this movie's set in the near future, or maybe 10 years
in the foreseeable future. Yeah. Definitely.
And you can just see how technology.
This is totally going to happen, people. They're gonna come up with something like this. They're gonna make computer lovers for us.
Right. I mean, he just falls head over heels over this operating system, and you'd swear it's a real person. You never see her. And
she falls for him too, even though she's just a computer thing.
Right.
She develops her own personality through the course of the movie and everything, and then she ends up growing and evolving and changing, and it's just really, really weird. A really weird movie for me. Yeah. It was strange.
Yeah, it wasn't really all that strange because you can see it happening. It's just that
just the idea that that this could happen. You could really see this happening. A real life person, getting
involved,
getting emotionally involved with an unreal character.
Right, but it takes somebody who's vulnerable and lonely, and maybe has problems.
A lot of people are.
They got no outlet for human interaction, so they spend most of the time.
I mean, look at how many people are into gaming and shit. How obsessed they get with gaming, and their characters, their avatars and stuff like that. They actually feel like they're real life people or something. It's it's weird.
Joaquin Phoenix turns in another, bravura performance.
Joaquin Phoenix is one of my favorite actors.
He's got this down pat. I mean, he's always playing these guys who are sort of vulnerable, maybe lonely, sort of people who are not that, well, I shouldn't say normal, but they're kind of, outside the norm.
Right.
And they're always kind of nervous. They're kind of nerdy maybe. And so, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if you see him being nominated for.
I hope he does. I hope he does because he deserves it. He was great in this movie.
He's another guy.
This movie didn't make my list because I don't know. It was just too
different.
Yeah, it was just too weird for me. But I mean, it was a good movie. But
the movie wasn't weird. It's just
yes, it was. It was weird.
I just look upon it as the technology, the way it's going, and things are made to look real. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. And that's why. I think whoever wrote the screenplay for this movie, as well as the director, deserves a lot of credit because I think they're ahead of their time.
Yeah. Okay, so my number 7 was Paradise Faith, the second part of the trilogy, the Ulrich Seidel trilogy. Now, this one was about a religious fanatic. The woman in this movie is like a religious fanatic, and it was just. Wow, another weird movie, really bizarre movie.
Ulrich Seidel.
I mean, all kinds of strange stuff happens in this movie. It's this woman, her entire life is her religion. She tries to convert people to Catholicism. She's constantly praying, singing hymns. Her whole life is her religion, and it's about that and how she tries to fulfill herself through her religion and stuff. And there's plenty of controversy, lots of controversial scenes in this movie. A lot of people got very angry about this movie in, was it New York? Yeah, they were protesting outside the theater about this movie. Because there are some really touchy scenes in here that would upset some people if you're, highly religious.
Right.
But, hey, I'm all for artistic expression. I don't have anything any problem with anything a filmmaker does. You know, you can't censor people. You cannot censor art. You know, if somebody wants to make a movie, as far as I'm concerned, they're entitled to make a movie about anything they want and show anything they want. You don't want to see it, don't see it. You know.
But, don't go see it and then protest, because that's like, you know, if you know the subject matter beforehand, you shouldn't be protesting because, you know, you willingly want to see it, right? Well, so I really don't, you know.
I don't know. I just don't think that directors should be prevented from making, you know, any kind of movie they want to make. I mean, it's art. It's their expression, and they're entitled to do it however they want, and it's up to the person whether they go see it or not. Yeah, and you know, a lot of people were upset by this.
Yeah, religion is a very touchy subject to many people, so that's why, you know, you got people, you know, protesting some of the
but it was a really, really excellent movie.
Yeah.
So
typical Eric Seidel, you know, you got stuff happening here.
Yeah, weird characters, you know, weird situations,
I mean,
you know, just strange.
Some of the stuff it's hard to believe you can't even make the stuff up,
right?
Because it's, you know, you're looking, you're like, wow, okay,
right.
So yeah, but no, Paradise Fetcher actually made my top 10. Just I didn't think of it because we saw it on video instead of in the theater like the other ones, but it's definitely one of the best of 2013.
Okay, let's move along. Number 6. What's your number 6?
Number 6, wow, believe it or not, a Hollywood movie is Captain Phillips with Tom Hanks.
Oh.
Yeah, that was.
I didn't see it, so I can't say. But
actually, you know what? I should pair this with a hijacking, a Danish film, because it's basically the same movie except made by two different people. One, the hijacking was a Danish film. With the same subject matter about this, you know, captain whose ship is overrun by Somali pirates.
It was the same story?
Basically the same story, just that, you know, Hollywood made this one. The only problem I had with Captain Phillips is after I saw the movie, I read articles that all the stuff that happened didn't, you know, to the crew was a bunch of lies. But basically...
So they did it for Hollywood.
Yeah, they did it for Hollywood.
They changed the story for Hollywood, as usual.
I forget where I read it. I must have read it. I read it somewhere. But anyways, I should have paired this with that hijack. But I saw the hijacking last year, which I thought was pretty good. But this one here, it's a little more watchable because it's Hollywood. They got to, you know, make sure Tom Hanks, you know,
he's the hero.
He's the hero, and he's got to, like, you know, do everything and all that. But it was very well made. I'm trying to remember who made Captain Phillips, who's the director, but I forget anyways. But anyways, it's worth seeing.
Okay.
Just for Tom Hanks himself. I mean, this is probably...
So he was really good in it.
He was really good in that. The story is really good because actually based on a true story in 2009 where the ship got hijacked by Somali pirates. And apparently hijacking ships by Somali pirates is big business. It's really big business out in that part of the world. So.
And where was it? Where did it take place? What part of the world?
I forget, but it was way out somewhere. Again, I forget. But anyways, good movie. Okay. Excellent movie.
Okay, my number 6 is Rent a Family, which is one of the movies that we saw at the Hot Docs Film Festival here last spring. It's a documentary film festival, all documentaries. And this movie, it was made by, I think it was made by a Swede, but it was about a Japanese guy, who,
might have been a Danish guy.
Was it Danish? Yeah, Danish or one of the Nordic countries anyway.
He was a Danish guy, but anyway.
Anyway, this guy, I think his day job was he a taxi driver or cab driver or something, or a delivery man. But on the side, he rented himself out as family members for people. Like if somebody was getting married and they didn't have a family member they didn't have any family to attend the wedding, they would hire him to pose as like their father or their uncle or whatever. And he would also enlist other people, like he would hire people to play other family members and stuff. And so it was really, really touching and sweet and moving because this guy had his own family. He was married to this really cold-hearted woman. They had 2 teenage kids, and like their family life was really kind of empty and unhappy. And the only real love he got was from his little dog. I remember he had this cute little dog, and every time he came home, he would be like, you know, with the dog and cuddling the dog and stuff. And it was like he got his emotional outlet and he got his emotional satisfaction from playing these parts when he rented himself out. And it was amazing. It was just so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I never even knew that stuff even existed.
And leave it to Japan. Like, Japan, like, you always hear about stuff like this, like, these kind of quirky, like, things you never hear about happening anywhere else. Like, these weird jobs and these weird, like, things they do. You know?
Yeah,
like, kind of,
I mean, I didn't
I don't
know
know.
that stuff even existed.
I hope I don't offend anybody who's Japanese who's watching this, but,
Yeah.
you know, just like, they have a different way of doing things, a different way of looking at things, you know? And, like, who would ever think of hiring yourself out? It's like, you know, but apparently it's, I don't know if it was big business, but it was starting to kind of catch on over there. You know?
Yeah, it's like, huh. Like I said, I never even heard of it until I watched this documentary, and I was like, wow, very well done, and very poignant.
Yeah,
you know?
very,
very poignant.
very
I mean,
awesome.
I kind of felt sorry for the guy because
I felt so sorry for him.
He really, like...
He was so sweet. He was such a nice guy.
Nice guy.
And his wife was such a bitch. You know, like, really, she was really like a cold-hearted bitch.
Yeah, this is another movie probably be hard to find because it's a documentary.
Yeah, but if you can see it anywewhere, you know, try to watch it.
In a video store
awesome.
or whatever. Yeah. I mean, check it out because it's definitely worth seeing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of different.
Okay.
Part of Hot Docs.
Let's move along here because this video is going on forever. Okay, number 5. What's your number 5?
Burning Bush is a movie I saw at TIFF a few months back. Another documentary, a true story about Jan Palach, who self-immolated himself in 1969 in Czechoslovakia to protest the Soviet occupation of that particular country. Now, his act set off a chain of events that basically years later freed the Czechs from Soviet occupation. I mean, there was others who, you know, but they were lesser known. But this guy just got fed up and
how he was only like what 19 or something, 19 or whatever.
And believe me, it's a true story. This is not made up. It set off this chain of events where, you know, the cops and, you know, the family and the government, you know, tried to cover it up, tried to do this, but I mean, it was so out in the open. But anyway, it was made by Agnieszka Holland, who's not even a Czech director. She's German. I mean, it was made for HBO in Europe, but I mean, I had to go see this because I know her work and I've seen other movies by her. And when I saw this, I mean, this is one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. So, anyways, if you see it somewhere, check it out. It's long; it's like 3 hours, but the story is well worth you know, checking out. It really is. I mean, I can't say enough good things about this movie. Really.
Okay.
I mean, really well made, and I mean, it's one of the best by far of the year.
Okay, my number 5 was Stranger by the Lake. And that was a French movie about some gay men at this gay beach. And it's kind of like a film noirish type movie. Lots of sex. Again, this was a very controversial movie because there's a lot of gay sex, like full on, you know, uncensored gay sex in this movie. So, you know, if that kind of thing offends you, stay away from it. But I thought it was so cool. Because it had that film noir twist because somebody gets murdered in the course of the movie and then this detective shows up and he's asking questions and stuff. And so there's all this intrigue going on, you know. It was really, I really liked the mood of the film, you know. And there's a lot of gorgeous men in it. So if you like gorgeous men, you'd like this movie. So
I happened to see it also, and I mean, yeah, I agree with some of the things that my wife's saying, but I mean, to me, it was kind of repetitive after a while. I mean, how many, like, you know, of the same thing can you see? I mean,
yeah, like, I mean,
sex,
yeah,
gay sex is okay. I mean, I got no problem with gay sex. I mean, if you want to have sex, then fine. You know, what am I supposed to say? But watching it was a little bit different because, I mean, you know, kind of got, like, you know, boring and
yeah, well, there's like a lot of scenes where, you know, you just see a car driving into a parking lot, like, and like over and over again, you keep seeing this guy driving to the parking lot.
And then the guy goes over to talk to the guy who's, you know.
But it didn't, I don't know why, but it didn't bother me. I don't know why. It was like, yeah. But I really liked it. I really liked it. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was very well done.
But it didn't have enough.
And really great character development because the stranger by the lake is this kind of plump older guy who is like, he's kind of like the odd, like, you know, kind of hot young gay guys there, and he's just kind of off by himself. And so this one of the hot guys, the main character, introduces himself, and they develop this friendship, and then this other guy shows up, this real like sex bomb type guy, and we see his, their interaction. I just thought it was really, really good. Really,
it was a good movie, but not enough. It didn't have enough plot and all that to make my list. But I saw it.
I disagree.
And